don't know what the hell made me think of this show. All right, Chief Hodges here, Car Karaoke. I'm here with the one and only Superintendent, Dr. Eric Melby. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, man. Thanks for the invite.
All right. So what music you listen to, man?
I listen to all sorts of music, but I'm kind of a late 70s to early 90s. That's my go-to probably,
Okay.
you know?
All right.
Anything alternative or grunge or early, hip hop, whatever. I love that
okay.
stuff, yep.
So how long you been superintendent here in Bloomington?
So this is the start of my 4th year. as
Oh, wow.
superintendent, Yep, so
Man.
I can't say new anymore.
Yeah.
Veteran.
I give you all the credit in the world, man. There is no way I could do your job. I know people always talk about my job, but there is absolutely no way I could do your job.
So we've got mutual respect for our jobs. Glad you're doing your job, and I'm happy to be doing mine.
Oh God, man. I mean, right now being in the schools, man, but at the end of the day, we've talked, I know it's rewarding dealing with the kids, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day.
For sure.
So what I want to ask you today is, we got this, last year legislature touted biggest education funding package passed. And now all the schools are all saying they need more money. So can you explain that to me? Like how does that happen?
I'll do my best.
Okay.
The legislature did, produce a lot of funding for schools.
Mm-hmm.
People go around talking about historic funding, and in some ways it was historic funding, right? But a lot of that funding was categorical funding that does not come to us as a school district in our general fund that we can use to kind of finance all of our operations. It's more meant for lunches for all students, for instance, or the READ Act is going to be a great thing, I think, but that's a lot of money that was school funding that went into training for the READ Act, which we're doing. But while they gave some funding to things like special education and English learners, we still have what we call a cross subsidy in those areas. They're expensive programs, and so we have to fund them with our general fund money, and then they cost more than that, right? So then we have to, we get some reimbursement for them, but not enough, and so then we have to pull money out of the general fund to pay for those. So if I had a ask of legislators in the future, would be to continue to beef up that special education and that English learner funding.
So, all right. So what you're saying, and I'm trying to get the Reader's Digest version.
Sure.
Is the legislature gave money, but it was like earmarked and like strings attached. So basically saying you have to spend these dollars on X.
Correct.
And you can't spend it on nothing else.
Right.
And then now what the districts are asking for is the else.
Yeah, you could put it that way. And there's a historical, it's not on this last legislature, but years and years of underfunding of education, I would say, and not keeping up with inflation at the end of the day, right? So we all know eggs and gas and everything gets more expensive, but the funding didn't keep up. And so, but again, special education and English learners, that's the funding I would ask to continue to be increased.
So is that the funding that's resulting in these budget shortfalls? Because you people forget you're a taxpayer too.
Yep.
Right. And you live in the community too, just like all the rest of us. And every year it seems like the schools are asking for money, and everybody's like, "Well, when's enough?" Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes what's your answer to that? Like,
that when you have years of underfunding in terms of keeping up with inflation, that's what leads us to a point where we're coming back often and saying, hey, we need some more to make this work right. The pandemic was hard, and so we have a lot of students with catch-up needs or special education needs, and so that costs money. And at the end of the day, I'm a special education educator. I was a special education teacher before I got into administration, and it's great programming. Kids and families need it, but it costs money, right? And so if you're gonna mandate programming, then I would ask the government to fund it.
So again, I just want to, people to understand here kind of what I'm hearing is state says you got to do X, but then they don't give you money to do X. And now you have to ask the citizens of the community to pay for the X that the state told you had to do.
Yahtzee. Yeah. You got it. And just for Bloomington folks, we're not going out for referendums. We're not asking for operating money, but I am asking the state to step up.
Yeah. And I think sometimes, we have these heated discussions and, people don't really get a chance to get answers. You got answers here today. Dr. Melby knows what he's talking about, and I'm glad to hear that. So, why do you do your job, man?
I do it because and you probably have some of this too, Chief. I mean, you're in a leadership position because you enjoy leadership, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and I come from a family of primarily educators. My mom and dad both worked in the schools. My brother's a chemist for 3M, so not every, he found a different path. But I've always loved helping kids, helping families. I wanna be a leader who's helping people who need help. And I do think education is the key to keeping democracy strong and keeping our economy going and future generations. So all those things lead me to be thrilled to be the superintendent with Bloomington Schools.
Yeah. Well, I know they're glad to have you, man. And my last question before we get into one of these songs here is, how can people show appreciation to their teachers?
That's a really good question. Things like, gifts or things like that are, I'm sure, appreciated by teachers. But what we don't get a lot of in public education, even though I think a lot of people are pretty happy with the service they're getting, or the work that the teachers are doing, is just an email, a phone message, or when you're stopping picking up a kid, just saying thanks. I mean, it's as little as that. Just a little positive reinforcement goes a long way, right? Works with the kids, it works with adults as well.
Thank you, teachers, man. None of us would be here if it wasn't for them in terms of learning how to read and write and do basic mathematics. So it's a little chilly out here today. We're filming this right after the Halloween rain, snowstorm, whatever you want to call it. So it's time to think about a little bit of paradise. So first song we're gonna sing here is by Eddie Money, and it's called Ticket to Paradise. Especially for you. Both of us have always wanted to do.
Well, we might have to start a band after this.
Waiting so long. We've waited so long.
Waited so long.
We've waited so long. Waited so long.
Here it comes.
Nope.
Oh, shoot.
Take you to a place so far from here. I got 2 tickets to my pocket, baby. Let's disappear. Waited so long. We've waited so long. Waited so long.
Good choice of tobacco.
Waited so long. Now here we go. I've got 2 tickets to paradise. Won't you pack your bags? Let's leave tonight. I've got 2 tickets to paradise. Won't you? 2 tickets to paradise. Next song here by The Clash. I fought the law, and the law won.
They always do. Breaking rocks in the hot sun. I fought the law and the law won. I fought the law and the law won. You did money cause I had none.
I fought the law and the law won. I fought the law and the law won.
My baby and it feels so bad. I guess my race is run.
Yes, right.
She's the best girl that I ever had. I fought the law and the law won. I fought the law
and the law. Oh man, wow! I need to learn that song.
Big guitar break here.
Yeah. All right, there you have it. 2 songs I fought the law and the law won. Dr. Eric Mailby here, Bloomington superintendent. Had a great time, sung some songs. It was good, man.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah.
Super fun.
Yep. And Bloomington, you got an excellent superintendent here. He does a great job. And we will see you back next time on Car Karaoke with Chief Hodges. You got anything else you want to say?
Thank you, Chief. I think we're fortunate with our police chief as well.
Yeah.
Have fun, Bloomington.
See you later.